Okay, so it's been almost 2 weeks since I recorded last episode because I have been working a ton. I have taken a lot of shifts. I mean, since I recorded the last episode, I have been working every day. And 3 of the days I have been working 12 hours and 14-hour shifts. Um, so I've been working a lot and I have not had time to record another episode, and I did not have time to upload one episode, episode 21, the latest episode. So it got delayed 1 week, got up this week, and now I'm recording this episode 2 days after it was uploaded. Almost 2 weeks since it was recorded. Um, so yeah, I've been busy, and honestly, not much. Or well, when I uploaded the last episode, I was like, well, what am I going to talk about in the next one? Because I felt that not much in relation to this podcast had happened. But then I thought about, something. I what can I say? Something was I realized something yesterday, and I have thought about some things today that also could be quite interesting to talk about. Of course, about me, because right now it's about me and what I'm going through, and I think it's kind of interesting, at least what happened yesterday. So I'm gonna start with that. Yesterday, I was thinking about something because lately I've gotten a lot of praise for working so much and just being good at my job. And I was like, well, it's not like I'm trying. I mean, I am trying. Of course, I want to do my job good, but it's not like I'm thinking I need to do my job good. I need to do it good. I need to do it good. I'm just doing what I believe is a good job, not expecting any praise, but just doing my job properly. And I'm getting a lot of praise. And I was thinking, like, why is it that I get so much praise when I just do my job? And then I was thinking back to when I was playing soccer in my teenage years. Um, Back then, I realized that my coaches had a lot of faith in me. And there were some episodes where they were like, one of my coaches said once to me, I was playing defense. And he said, if you would like to take a run up to the opposite goal, you just do it. You are so welcome. And I was like, whoa, that's a lot of pressure putting up on me, because I had done it once and I ended up scoring a goal because of it. And then he said it, and then I felt too much pressure and I never did it again. So what I realized from that was that I am actually pretty good and amazing at stuff. And this sounds like I'm way over my heels, that I'm such a prick. But if you have followed along for some of the episodes, you know that I'm not struggled so much, but I have struggled with self-esteem, confidence, self-worth, and so on. And this series I'm making at the moment is about how I want to increase those things. And I mean, it's been working. I feel like it has increased since I started. And then I realized this yesterday, that when I am just doing my things without really thinking about it, but just want to do my things right and do it properly, then I'm actually doing things pretty good. And other people can see it, except for me. I don't see it. I just feel like that's what I have to do. And other people are like, damn, you're good at this. You should do it more. Um, And I realized it because I was thinking about back at my time playing soccer and also my time back in school. I always got told by teachers that I was a good student and was really intelligent and doing all my things and such. And I was like, yeah, but I can do better. And it was always like that. Also, in my soccer years, I remember, I cannot remember if I've told this before, but there was once a game where afterwards my father has supported me a lot during my my soccer years, because he also played a lot of soccer when he was young. And he was watching a lot of the games, and there was one game where he was like, you played really good this game. And you don't know my father, but for him to say that, that meant that I played extremely well. And all I remember answering was that, yeah, but I had this one time where I didn't get the ball. And I mean, that just says a lot about it. And I can see there's something wrong with the camera, which is pretty damn annoying. Or maybe it's the internet. I don't know. I guess I'm just going to continue. There's no way to fix it. But yeah, I just answered, but I didn't get this ball the one time. And I could only see the one mistake that I made that whole game, which it says a lot about my earlier mentality, about that even though I was good, it was never enough. And I thought about it yesterday and was like, maybe that's why I want to become better, because that's just my mentality. But then I also recently read about my zodiac sign, the Taurus, where it actually said, well, the main goal for the Taurus is to live a good life in every way it is understood, that phrase. And just to keep on better and keep on moving forward. And that is also the energy of the masculine energy, that it just wants to keep moving forward and keep improving, keep getting results and keep getting better. So in some way, I just guess that's just me. That's my purpose, to becoming better and growing. And I would like to help others becoming better and grow as well. So I think, I have talked about it before, that I have wondered about what is it that I want to do, how and what for, why is it that I want to do that I want to do. I just guess that it's just because who I am. That's what I want to do. And I've also thought about it that I am now going to see it in a new way, because before I was like, it's never good enough. It has to be better. Now I want to see it in a way that is actually pretty good what I'm doing. It's quite amazing sometimes in some ways. And I want to do it good still, and I want to do it better. I want to improve and grow and keep doing it better. It's good. And now there's really something with the camera. Whoa. And we're back again. Okay. I just have to sit still so it can get it. I'm just consistent. It's good, but I want it to be better. I guess that's it, how I am going to see it from now on. And that was I think that was a really great way or something really great to realize yesterday. I was like, damn, I'm actually pretty good. And so, yeah, sorry if this sounds like that I am really into myself at the moment, but I guess I am. That is also the purpose of this series that is going on right now, that I want to have this deep sense, I cannot remember what it's called, this deep manifestation of status. Yes, the journey to that. And I guess I have just been trying to do that just by working a lot. And it's working. It's going pretty good. Um, and also something I want to talk about that I didn't touch upon last time is that actually I have been going to some treatment still with my concussion with the aftermath of the concussion. And about 2 weeks ago, both of them was like, yeah, we have nothing more on you. Everything looks fine in our opinion. So you should be good to go. And I'm like, okay. So I am just cured. All of a sudden, I am no longer sick with concussion. And that was kind of weird because it has been with me for the last 2 years and more, because it was such a big part of my life for so long. And I am honest. I mean, the concussion I don't feel anymore, but I feel that there's still something in my body that's not as it should be. But then I have been asking myself, well, what is as it should be? How does that feel? What is it? And well, there's some things that I've also been wondering about. Is that, first of all, at the physiotherapist clinic that I was going to, there were more physiotherapists, and I heard some of them talking a conversation about, but one of them was like, yeah, well, everyone got something where they have something, they're hurting, their back, their knee, their shoulder, something. Everybody has something. And I was like, yeah, well, I guess that's true. And then I'm a big fan of David Goggins and listened to both his books, where he also talks, I think it's in Never Finished, where he talks about that he has a lot of problems with his body. I mean, there was blood coming out from a little hole in his heart for the half of his life. And even so, he became a Navy SEAL. I mean, his knees are really fucked up, to be honest. And then he also has some sickness, I cannot remember what it's called, but with his hands. So when they get cold or when they get wet, he can't feel them at all. And there's like, it's like nothing. It has to be not really cold at all, and he just can't feel them at all. And even so, he's still a smoke jumper, where he jumps out of planes and stops wildfires. I mean, that's kind of crazy. And that made me kind of think about that, even though there might still be something wrong, it doesn't mean it has to hold me back. And I feel that it's not holding me back. I mean, I just told you I've been working a lot for the past 10 days, something like that. And I'm exhausted. I'm not gonna lie, but it's not like critically. I don't know what to say. I mean, I feel okay. I can still keep going, working. Some rest would be nice, but it's not essential or needed, so to say. So I'm just think that I am gonna continue working on myself and on my job, and just not thinking about this in my body too much, and just kind of learn to live with it and still pushing it, because I also feel that it has been like a marathon where I have pushed myself more and more and more and further, and then my body and my mentality can handle more pressure, more work, and so on. So it is like working out your it's working out your body and your mentality to keep doing more and keep getting more, and keep performing. And you have to increase the load over time, slowly, or maybe not slowly, but it has been like a feeling of how much I could take, and I was like, I can do this, now I can do this. I have done this, now I can do this. I have done this, now I can do this. Because I don't know if you remember, but like some months ago, I talked about first time that I had to have a 12-hour work, 12 days line of work, and I was kind of scared how it's gonna go, and it went fine, and I have had it multiple times since. And now I'm here talking about how it's actually going fine, even though I have had more work these 12 days than I've ever had. So I mean, it's what also David Goggins says. It's about the life. I'm gonna try it once again. Life is a game of the mind. And when your mind tells you, oh, this might be bad, or also tells you that you can't do this, you can't do it. But if you give it a shot and say, I'm going to try, and I'm going to see how it goes. And if you do it, then you do. Or we could also say, tell the Master Yoda quote, there's no trying, there's do not or do. Or something like that. I cannot quite remember it. There's do or do not. That's what he says. So you just have to do it, I guess, or don't. I don't know where I want to go with this. I just kind of want to tell that you can do whatever you set to do. And you can't do it if you say you can't do it. It's really simple, but it's actually very powerful. Not gonna lie. When you say you can't do it, you can't do it. And opposite, when you say you can do it, you can't do it. If you don't believe me, try it out for yourself. If there's something that you say that you can't do, try and switch it around and say you can do, and actually mean it. And that's the hard thing. That's where it becomes hard, to actually mean it, that you can do it. And that's something you have to practice, like with everything. That's a mentality practice, to keep telling yourself, I can do it. I can do it. Even though you might not believe it at first, but I think that in time you will believe. And the more, as time passes, you will get closer and closer that you have to do it. So you just are going to do it no matter what. And then something I also have started to myself is like, I mean, no matter what happens, everything's going to be fine. It's not the end of the world if something might happen that I didn't expect. Everything's going to be fine anyway. Nothing is not the end of the world. And then I've also been thinking about, because last time I talked about how I finished Will by Will Smith, and I haven't had time to hear or read any books since, so it's been like 0. But I talked about how he realized that the killer mentality might not be the best way of life, but it was love and giving that was a better solution for life. And it kind of resonated with me, because I have been with the warrior and killer. I think I was going to call it the warrior mentality. That sounds better, to be honest. The warrior mentality and the love mentality. That the warrior mentality was a lot of what I was doing right now at the moment, and not much of the love mentality. But I think that it would be possible to combine those two mentalities, not to exclude one for the other. And I was thinking about it when I realized this also had something to do when I talked about a long time ago, I believe it is, that I have a hard side and a soft side. And I think that I could compare that to the warrior mentality and the love mentality. So the hard side or tough side is the warrior mentality, and the soft side is the love mentality. So, and I talked about that you can combine those two, that you don't have to choose between one or the other. And I actually still think that you can that with the warrior mentality, the love mentality, because you can still, I think that you can still grind a lot to grow and to improve and still give out love to yourself and to your friends and family, and also to the people that you want to help or give to from a place of abundance, not from a place of scarcity. Remember that. I also talked about that earlier, in an earlier episode. I believe that's doable, because I feel when I am working my work, I am grinding a lot with the cleaning and getting all the tasks done that has to be done, but also being, I mean, that would be called service-minded, but being present towards the members when they are asking for help. I am there for them. I am present in helping them and giving them the best experience, talking to me as a represent, as someone representing the gym and the gym company. Yeah. While I'm still also have to go back to my cleaning. So I'm thinking about that it's still doable to be in both zones when needed. That you don't have to exclude one from the other, which I think is pretty interesting, because I think that both of them are important. That for you to move in life, I think that you have to have the warrior mentality, that you have to want to keep grinding and keep growing, but also for not being a pain in the ass, you will have to have the love mentality as well, where you are caring for yourself, you are caring for others as well, people you know and people you don't know. And I know that sounds hard. That's why I'm telling you that it should come from a place of abundance. And where it's coming from a place of abundance is that when you give love to yourself first. And I don't know if it's the only way, but I think that's a pretty good way to give love to yourself, is to doing the best for yourself, to be healthy as possible and do as much for you can, as much as self as you can to grow. And that way you can increase your abundance, and then at some point you can help others as well to keep growing and keep getting better when you are in a place of abundance. And that's actually pretty strong. Now that I'm thinking about it, that sounds pretty cool. And it's not like I am there at the moment, but I feel like that I am in a pretty good place at the moment, in a place of abundance in myself, because I might have found a better split between the warrior mentality and the love mentality. And now that I'm also thinking about it, it actually sounds like the masculine mentality versus the feminine mentality, where the warrior mentality is the masculine mentality and the love mentality is the feminine mentality. And that you need both. Even though you might be a guy or a girl, you still need both, where there's just one of them that's the primary energy. So usually for males, that's the masculine energy, and usually for females, it's feminine energy. And that might be why that I feel a stronger, or maybe not because I haven't in the past, but at the moment, I'm feeling a stronger warrior mentality than love mentality because that's my masculine energy. But I've also gotten a new way to see the love mentality, that it's not only as in a romantical perspective, which I think is heavily forced, or not heavily forced, but I can't find the word, but there's a lot of focus on the romantical aspect of love in our society, which I am not a big fan of, to be honest. I have been, and I'm not anymore because it made me feel fucking miserable. So I have taken quite a big distance from it, and it has actually helped. That I now feel I have gotten a better relationship with love. That it's not only to another human being in a romantical way, but it's also in a way to yourself, to be loved and compassionate and caring for loving, compassionate and caring for yourself, for your friends and family, be there when they need you, but also for others and for strangers. That is why when people come to me in my work and ask if I can help them, I'm like, absolutely, I can help you. And I am trying my best to help them. Sometimes I just can't help them. And I am better at accepting that I can't help everybody. But in the beginning, it was kind of hard for me that I couldn't help. But now I'm trying to accept sometimes I just can't. And I will do what is in my power to help, but sometimes I just can't. And I have heard multiple times, thank you. Thank you for good service. Thank you for your help. Thank you so much. It means a lot. I have heard that a lot from members. And as I also said, I have also been praised by not only my manager, but also the other managers in other gyms for helping them and doing a great job. So in some way, I think this is working. Even though, as I've said before, I'm not doing it for the praise. I am doing it for growth and testing out things and seeing what is happening. And I feel like it's working pretty well. Having both the warrior mentality and the love mentality. So the warrior mentality to keep doing the tasks as good as possible, keep getting better, keep performing, and also be there for others when it is needed. And also just today, I was I have work. I have the closing shift, so I was just up in the gym working out because I like to do it in the morning. So when I have time to do it in the morning, I do it in the morning. And when it makes sense that I can do it in the morning, so I did, and I was up there and I just fixed some things. And I asked my manager if I could meet in earlier to keep fixing those things. And she just messaged me, or I told it to my colleague who was there, and she told the manager when she arrived. She sent me a message. It's okay if you are going to meet in earlier. You can do that. And I told her about why. And then she just messaged me back. You are so good, Christopher. Thank you. And I mean, she has praised me before, but this time she didn't have to send that message. I think that's what I'm trying to say. She didn't ask for anything that she could just say thank you for me for doing. She just thanked me for doing this without being told to. And that kind of hit me, that I didn't do it for praise. I just did it because I realized that it is something that has to be fixed now. So I did. And that was also kind of reassuring me about the thing that I told you before. When I'm just thinking about, I have to do these things, I have to do them good, I have to do them as good as possible, other people will praise me. And then they are saying, if they say, you can do this again, you're pretty good at it, then I'm like, oh, no. Too much pressure. But actually, maybe I just should kind of rephrase that in my head as well. Maybe not rephrase, but yeah, you get the meaning. In a way that I'm actually good at this. So yes, I can do it again. Don't you even worry. To have more confidence in myself. Yeah. I think it's about to, something is about to take place inside of me. I feel that. I mean, it already has, and it's getting stronger, which is good. I like that. And then the last thing that I want to touch upon, I have my little note. I just wrote it before recording this episode, so I was like, okay, I know what I'm going to talk about. And it's actually been way longer than I thought it would be, as usual. And then there's the last thing, which is that I have not only been in my own gym working for these past almost 2 weeks, I've also been in other gyms talking with other people, other colleagues, and we have been talking about running. And I actually started loving running when I ran before my concussion. I ran a marathon a half a year before my concussion entered. I played a lot of soccer, so I was in good shape. And lately, or sometimes for the past month, I have been missing it, to be honest. And then I was talking with a girl about it, how she was running a lot, like extreme runs and such things. And I was like, damn, that sounds pretty cool. And then another day I was talking with another manager in one of the gyms, and she was training up to a half marathon across a bridge. And she have run multiple half marathons before. And she was talking about how she loved running outside and not on treadmills. And I was like, I feel the same. I hate running on treadmills. I love running outside, especially in nature and when there's water and such things. And she agreed. And then after we were talking about it, I was like, oh man, maybe I should get into running. And then she just said, you should. And when she looked at me and said that, I think something clicked in me. And I was like, yeah, I should. Because when I talked with the first girl who did extreme runs, I actually started running some days after, or no, it was actually the day after, because I was like, I need to try. So I ran 6 kilometers without knowing where I went. It was just an urge that came up in me. I was like, I have to run. So I did. I mean, of course, I had a what's called a sense of where I was going from where I was, but I was in a park and in a place that I had never been before. And I just ran, and it ended up being 6 kilometers. And I don't know if you know much about running, but for someone who hasn't run for a long time, that's a lot. Usually people say you should start with 2 to 3 kilometers and do some walking in between as well. I just ran straight for 6 kilometers. And damn, my calves, they hurt like shit for like 2 or 3 days afterwards. Because I was going very slowly. My pace was about 7 minutes per kilometer, actually above 7 minutes per kilometer. So it was slow in my standards, at least in my standards, it was slow. I have been running like 5 minutes per kilometer, easy for 10 kilometers. This wasn't easy. Let me tell you that. And what I also would practice was my running stride, so that I was running on the front of my feet. I was landing below my body weight and I was pushing myself forward instead of dragging myself forward. And I also think that's one of the reasons why I was able to run further at my first run, because I was practicing better stride. And that is also why my calves hurt so much, because apparently landing on the front of your feet activates your calves a lot, which I'm not used to. I'm used to landing on my heels. I don't know where that is felt in the leg, but on the front, it's felt a lot in the calves, apparently. And also thinking about having a straight back and just having a good running stride, slow and steady. And I actually didn't know my running zones, my heart rate zones, but I remember that David Goggins says when he trained and when he ran, most of his runs was in the second heart rate zone. And because when I heard his book, he also talks with the guy who is narrating or reading the book, and they talked about, David, he mentioned that the reason how he could run so much and run so far was because that he didn't run very fast. He had a look at his heart rate and made sure that he was training in the second heart rate zone, which is the second lowest. And I cannot remember, but I Googled it and it was like something where it's doable. It's not very hard. And I actually felt that it wasn't very hard. I was enjoying it, to be honest. It was tough. It was hard. My calves started to hurt and my legs started to hurt, but I was enjoying it. And then for the last kilometer, it was a mental game that I just had to finish it, because I knew that I was close to home, so they weren't far away, but it was tough. And then I talked with the other girl, the other gym manager, who was like, do it. And now I have to start run again. I simply can't. So not after what's happened. So I am going to work out 6 days a week, resistance training, and then the last day, I'm going to go for a run. And I'm just going to see how much I can run. So I mean, this route that I just ran, I will do an alternative one that is about the same area, but in some other way, because I was like, I will do it this way next time and see how far that is. And then at first, I don't think I want to improve on the distance, but I would like to improve on stride and pace as first. And I read that you can improve 10% every week. You can increase every 10% every week. So that's something I have to keep an eye of. And then I'm also going to try to keep it in the second heart rate zone. So that was something between 140 heartbeats per second and minute. Yes. And 154 heartbeats per minute. I believe it was something like that. Something in between that is my second heart rate zone, because I'm 26. And as I found out, it is to find your maximum heart rate is 220 minus your age. So I'm 26, so that's 194. That's my maximum heart rate. And then I didn't know how it was calculated with the heart rate zones. It was a calculator that did it for me. I found online. So I will just try to keep it in that heart rate zone and try to improve stride and pace. And at some point, maybe when I get bored on the route or I want to expand it, I will increase pace. No, distance. And see how it affects pace and stride. I mean, hopefully my stride will not be affected, but how it will affect pace. So that's the plan on running. And it's just going to be for fun. My goal right now is that I want to be able to run 10 kilometers with ease without having to be, I have to run 10 kilometers. Yeah, I'm just going to run 10 kilometers because I was able to do that before. And there is a route at home at my parents' place that is 10 kilometers. And I love that route, going down in the forest. And it's just amazing. And I want to be able to run that route again with ease. And also, I might be able to expand this route so I can see more water and nature, hopefully. 10 kilometers. So that would be great if I could just be running 10 kilometers without thinking about it. And maybe some point there might be a race or not. If I'm inspired to do so, I don't know. Right now, it will just, I can only run 1 day a week. That's not much to train. So it's going to be slow, it's going to be steady, and we're going to see how it goes. The goal is to be able to run 10 kilometers at ease. And now I'm going to end the episode. So as you can hear, actually some things had happened since it's been 2 weeks. So it's pretty great. I was thinking about if I should maybe end this series. But that was when I thought about I didn't have anything to talk about. But then I found some, even so. So maybe we're just going to keep it going. We'll see. Till next time. I have about 1.5 weeks to tape next episode, to record next episode. So I can think about, I can see what happened in that time. I have time. I say I have time now, and then I just have to work a lot, maybe, and then I just don't have not time at all to do it. So we'll see what happens. I guess that's just the message. We'll see what happens the next time. So may have a good one till next time. I will see you there.